Hey everyone, and welcome to our YouTube AMA. We are excited to be launching in Australia, and we're excited to be answering some of your questions today. I'm here with John O'Loughlin, who's our country director for Australia. Hey John, I'm sure you've been having a busy couple of days here. International expansion is something that we're prioritizing right now at Coinbase. Our mission is to create economic freedom and increase it all over the world. And so it's very important for us to get these markets live and bring the benefits of crypto to people all over the world. So, John, let's kick it off. By the way, I want to thank the team. The team in Australia has been working super hard to make this launch possible. We've got all kinds of cool bank integrations and regulatory efforts underway and collaboration with local partners in Australia. We're excited to be live in that market, and big shout out to the team that made this all possible. Yeah, John, shall we kick it off with a few questions, and then I think we'll turn it over to the live incoming stream questions as well.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Brian. Hey, everyone. Great to have Brian dedicated to an Australian audience. We've had a lot of people in market the last couple of days from all over the world. Great interaction with RMIT, just published a white paper with those guys in the Coinbase Institute out of Melbourne. RMIT, one of the leading blockchain tertiary educations globally. I don't think people internationally really appreciate that, but down under here, they're super important. Yesterday morning, meeting with entrepreneurs clubs and founders at University of New South Wales. Again, another top 10 ranked blockchain university globally. And then last night, Brian, amazing meetup, big panel, 6 people from industry and Coinbase. You wouldn't know we're in a crypto winter if you're at that event. And I think the liveliness and the activity in Australia is something that is going to really lend itself to the whole ecosystem and the sustainable platform we're bringing to market. So look, let's kick it off with the first question. These are from users all throughout Australia. Here we go.
Hey, Brian. As one of the largest organizations in the rapidly changing crypto space, I'm sure that Coinbase has had to employ some people who don't come with a great pre-existing knowledge of cryptocurrency. So my questions are, how do you get these employees up to speed, and how do you keep them up to speed?
Yeah, so that is a very good question. You're correct. Coinbase has hired enough people now where, especially early on, there weren't enough crypto forward people in the world. There was, Satoshi and Vitalik, and there was only a handful of people who had really gotten deep into this stuff early on. So we realized that we had to not only try to find crypto forward people, but we had to develop that talent internally. And, actually back in the day, people used to call it crypto first. Are you crypto first or are you not? And we kind of changed that terminology. We started calling it crypto forward because anybody can become crypto forward. There's sort of a silly idea, like if you weren't there 10 years ago, then you weren't, a crypto OG or something like that. No, everybody had to learn about crypto, including myself early on. And we did it from having no crypto knowledge. So what we've done at Coinbase is we have created an internal crypto U, actually a university almost internally, and all employees go through the most basic lessons in there to learn about the history of cryptocurrency and cryptography with the cypherpunks and kind of the origin of the whole movement. They learn about smart contracts. And then our engineering teams actually go through further segments of Crypto U where they actually publish their first smart contracts, and they learn how to write in Solidity and learn about the different blockchains and the different consensus mechanisms. So we try to make sure we can develop that talent internally at Coinbase. And actually, I think Coinbase has been a great place for people to go get their crypto master's degree, if you will, learn on the job, get paid to learn on the job. And that's been really awesome for us. So awesome question.
All right, Lockie from Melbourne, thank you. I might be one of those people benefiting from all that investment that's been made. Next one.
Hi, Brian. Matt here from Melbourne. Congratulations on your launch of Coinbase into Australia. Just in regards to questions, will you be supporting self-managed super funds as well as corporate trustee structures as part of the Coinbase establishment? Thanks.
Yeah, so I know that self-managed super funds have been an important development in the Australian market, and that's definitely something we want to support. It's a good part of economic freedom. We want people to be able to control their own investments, and they should be able to invest in crypto too. This is such an important emerging asset class. So we've got a couple of efforts underway to try to integrate with some of the biggest super funds out there and make that possible for people to invest directly in crypto. And then same thing on the corporate trustee structures. I mean, we've done some similar stuff with that in the US and other markets, like for instance, the deal that we did with BlackRock. And so I don't have anything I can announce at the moment, but there's definitely some efforts that are underway there in Australian market as well.
Yeah, and I think we were just chatting before. We're getting great appeal from and interaction with the Australian super fund industry. You know, they are really tooling themselves up from a human capital standpoint, which is super exciting. Thanks for the question, Matt, also in Victoria. Matt, you can come back for the next live stream and ask Brian what's his preferred fitness model. I saw the rower, I saw the bike there. I know Brian's got a few preferences there. Let's jump to the third question.
Hi, Brian. Really excited about Coinbase's launch in Australia. I was wondering, are there going to be AUD trading pairs?
Yes, absolutely. That is something that will be coming soon. We want to make sure we have trading pairs in every local fiat to crypto market whenever we launch somewhere. So coming soon, absolutely.
Hey, Samara, thanks for that question. That's one of my asks as the country director. I need to be pushing stuff up the totem pole that people down under want. And that's certainly coming. Clearly there's, you know, GB, pound, euro, dollar, etc. So, you know, Aussies are well known for their foreign currency awareness, being at the bottom side of the earth here. So let's look at that. Although I know the Aussie dollar is getting crushed right now. All right, on to question 4. Brian, seeing a lot of questions come on the live chat, and I think this is a really important topic to dig into. What is the criteria for adding coins, tokens, and why isn't there kind of unified support across the countries? How does Coinbase look at that process? I get asked that a lot.
Yeah. Well, this is obviously a big area of focus for us because I think there's a kind of this healthy tension that we have as a company where, you know, of course, we're very serious about consumer protection and we don't want any kind of coin to get listed on the platform that people, you know, that does something that it shouldn't do and our customers lose money. But at the same time, we want to make sure we enable the innovation that happens in this market and not end up as a gatekeeper inadvertently. You know, there's a history of companies who have tried to become gatekeepers of, you know, imagine Apple with the app stores or things like that, where it's turned out quite poorly. And I think you never want to have somebody like me sitting in a position of authority saying, hey, this one's allowed, this one's not. And so what we've tried to do is say, we're going to have listing standards for our centralized exchange where we look really closely at things like cybersecurity risk, make sure that these smart contracts don't have some kind of flaw where, you know, customers could lose funds. We look at from a compliance point of view and really diligence the teams behind these coins. And then we also look a very in-depth legal analysis that looks at whether these things are securities or are they commodities or are they stable coins. There's lots of, you know, unclear regulation out there that's still emerging. Luckily, Australia has kind of been one of the countries in the G20 that's on the forefront of creating more clear regulation. That's something our policy teams work really hard at. But sometimes in the absence of that clear regulation, we've had to come up with our own kind of standards that we believe meet the right test. And we have, I think it's like a 72-point legal analysis actually of each of these tokens. So it's a lot of work that goes into it. But ultimately, if we decide it meets our minimum threshold for what would be allowed on our platform from cyber and legal and compliance, then we list it. And then we want to let the market decide what is the value of this token at that point. Now, I should mention also that Coinbase is now enabling DEX trading or decentralized exchanges. And so in that case, we're not the one actually listing it on our own exchange, but we do want to allow our customers to access the whole world of Web3. And an important piece of that is decentralized exchanges as well. So I imagine over time, what it'll be is you'll have a couple hundred assets or something like that that are listed on our centralized exchange with sort of a higher listing criteria. There'll be many thousands, probably millions eventually of tokens listed on decentralized exchanges. In Coinbase, we want to make it easy for people to access all of that. So hopefully that answers your question.
Brian, just last night, we actually spoke to a few people who had submitted listings to us. We had our VP, Dan Kim, in the room, and we talked about actually a physical kind of old school proof of life, not from our process, but from one of our partners who's had a rug pull over time. They wanted to actually meet me and make sure John O'Loughlin at Coinbase.com was John O'Loughlin at Coinbase. Dan called me. I talked with our listing teams. I quickly went across the other side of Sydney to verify this. And happy days, we're in business. The listing's on track. So lots of old world trust, classic BD work with teams on the ground, as well as all the tech that Brian's talking about. Okay, so these questions are coming up through the chat. Let's jump to their fifth number today. What other features are you planning to bring to Australia users in the future?
Yeah. Well, we really want there to be feature parity across every major market where Coinbase operates. So there's some things which are probably not live there today. So for instance, Coinbase Card, we want to make sure that gets available so people can go spend crypto easily wherever they want in Australia. There's things like, we have USD coin in the US, there should probably be an AUD coin, something like that, that allows stablecoins to flourish and that part of the market to get off the ground. I think things like, there's other things in the US, right? Like direct deposit for payroll in crypto, and just go on down the list. I think these are things that we want to make sure are available everywhere in every major market to really get feature parity. But what's one thing that's great about the Web3 space and sort of the just decentralized aspects of Coinbase. So, once you get your Coinbase account, maybe you can convert some Australian dollars into crypto. But at that point, you should be able to access any dApp or a Web3 app in the world globally. And those features are sort of crypto native, so they get launched globally from day one. That's kind of the beauty of like the crypto economy, is it's global, inherently global from day one. So as long as we get the most basic functionality of converting the local currency Australian dollars into crypto, then our users in Australia can access the global crypto economy and all the Web3 apps. So anyway, that's an important piece of the puzzle as well.
And there are a couple of really well covered Aussie dollar stablecoins that we're in discussions with right now. There are some in the market that I'm sure this audience have all seen from some of the big financial players. Definitely watch that space and those use cases. All right, number 6. Should we expect to see more institutions jump on board, or will a crypto winter steer them away? I know this isn't Brian's first crypto winter. He's not wearing a puffer jacket. Talk to me.
Yeah, so we've been through 4 of these now. It's funny. I would say in the last crypto winter, we did see institutions in the US sort of pause or put on hold their crypto efforts. But in this crypto winter, we actually haven't seen that, which is pretty encouraging. I think one reason that is probably the case is that this crypto downturn is really it's a broader macro downturn. It's not really crypto related. Everything is down in the broader financial markets. And so, no, and in fact, the opposite. We're still seeing a lot of institutions sign up and show interest in crypto, make deposits, do integrations. So for Coinbase Prime, which is our institutional product, we're seeing a lot of growth still, and I think we'll see that in the Australian market as well.
Look, echo that. We've got Justin Choi, who's a director of Coinbase Ventures. Lots of people talking to him in market. He's super excited in the dynamics here and coming down from APAC a lot. We've got a very healthy stable of portfolio companies in this market as well. And so, yeah, I've got a bit of gray hair as well. I think I got in the business in 1999, and clearly there are some ups and downs, but we're in a really stable, big economy in Australia, which I think we're grateful for. Number 7, will the success of the ETH merge help quell some of the criticisms of cryptocurrencies? Lots of alliteration there.
Yes, the answer is yes, I think. I mean, first of all, I just want to give a big shout out to the ETH team, the various teams working on the node softwares out there that helped make that happen. And of course, the ETH Foundation itself. I think that was a huge milestone for cryptocurrencies in general and for Ethereum in terms of scalability and decentralization, and also energy efficiency. Moving to proof of stake does quell one of the big criticisms of cryptocurrencies, which was around energy usage of proof of work. Now, I still think the proof of work chains serve a very important function, especially Bitcoin. And so I don't want to say anything negative there, but this was one of the big criticisms, and it does quell that. I also think it improves some aspects of decentralization for Ethereum because, instead of having to have a big data center that was running all the mining hardware, there can only be so many of those. One country could even, go find a bunch of data centers and try to take them over or something like that. But if in the proof of stake world that the merge enabled, now anybody can really run that on their own laptop or just one computer. So it's actually easier for the network to be more decentralized, I believe, in a proof of stake world. So I think it quelled a number of criticisms, and I can't tell you how important it is to get more scalability in the blockchains. I think it'll be as important as the internet moving from dial-up to broadband. I think it's going to enable the next order of magnitude of growth in terms of use cases for crypto. So I'm super excited about the merge.
And if you didn't catch Brian's piece with Vitalik Buterin on this a couple of weeks ago, definitely look at that. A long, very intellectual discussion about this, gives lots of context. In terms of learn by doing, that was a great session for me. All right, Ocho, number 8. Octo, for those who are less familiar with crypto, how do you plan to support new users in Australia?
Yeah, well, Coinbase has always been, I think, a really helpful company and resource for people who are brand new to crypto. That's always been what I always tell our product teams, and what the brand is really about is we're trying to be the most trusted and the easiest to use in crypto. We're trusted because we've been compliant, we follow the rules, we're secure, we store tons of crypto for people, we do what we say we're going to do in terms of customer support, and then we try to make crypto easier to use because it's still so complicated. That's how we're going to get 1 billion people coming into the crypto economy, is we've got to make it simpler and simpler. Not everybody needs to know or care what a private key is, or they don't want to send crypto to some computer long string of characters and numbers that looks random. They want to send it to a human readable name, just like an email address. Now you have an ENS address. So we've always tried to make crypto easier and easier to use. And another big thing we've done is there's a lot of content on our site that's available in Australia as well. Like if you just go to our homepage, and when you're signed out and you click the learn link at the top, there's actually a lot of really good content in there with different tutorials and crypto basics, and it'll kind of teach you about what is a blockchain, and how to get your first NFT, and how to stake crypto, and how to participate in Web3. So I think Coinbase has done a really good job of making crypto accessible to, we've got over 100 million verified users now, but hopefully it'll be over 1 billion in the next few years, and we'll get half the globe on crypto in the next 10 years.
Thanks, Brian. All right, we're well over halfway, 2/3 into it. Number 9, are you building a local team in Australia, and how does the recruiting process look?
Yes, so we have built a local team in Australia. John can tell you all about that. And the recruiting process looks similar to the recruiting process globally. So we have a centralized function for recruiting. It's not specific to every market. And recruiting has been a really big piece of what makes Coinbase a success. I think, everything that you do in business really comes back to the people that you have on the team, because if you want to, make great profits, you got to have good products. If you want to have good products, you got to have great people. And so actually the number one value in the company, we have a list of values, 10 of them. The very first one is top talent. And it's important to get that. So the interview process it's rigorous. It's sometimes we go in there, we ask people questions, not only based on what skills they have, but what values-based questions. We look for people who are humble, they're great communicators, they move really rapidly through difficult problems. And it's an elite group. I think it's a championship team. And so we've been able to attract a lot of the best and brightest, and becoming a remote first company has actually helped us hire a lot of the best people as well. They don't have to live in, a major city right in the office where everybody can go see you every day. We've been able to hire people in different places around Australia. So anyway, that's been a great part of our success.
And, shout out to the 45 plus Aussies at Coinbase all over the world. A lot of them are in leadership positions. A lot of Aussies have spun out of Coinbase to do super cool things in Web3, and some of the companies are down in Australia we're really close to. So I'm grateful for that. We've got a Slack channel, Aussie Mates. We've even got a micro channel, Kiwi Buddies, or something that I'm also lucky to be part of. Let's jump to the 10th question. What are your views on stablecoins in Australia and wider APAC currencies?
Yeah, so first of all, at a high level, I think there's kind of like stable coins that are backed by fiat currencies, and then there's sort of decentralized stable coins. So I'll touch on both. First of all, I think stable coins that are backed by fiat currencies are an important piece of the crypto ecosystem. I think they're not going to be as innovative as the decentralized cryptocurrencies, but they're a very important piece for a few reasons. One is that it allows us in DeFi to make trading pairs, on decentralized exchanges in these fiat currencies. It also allows people who can't get access to these things, like maybe they live in a country that doesn't have stable currency. And so just by being able to open a self-custodial wallet in Venezuela or something like that, they could get Australian dollar coins or USD coins. That's something that wasn't really possible before. So I think stable coins are an important milestone, and we should make those available in Australia and in these wider APAC countries. then I think decentralized stablecoins are actually potentially even more powerful long-term. DAI is one that's been around a while, and it's been quite successful through various ups and downs in difficult markets. We've seen some that didn't work as well, but I think, you have to try a lot of different things to find the ones that'll work. And over time, we may even see stablecoins that are really more like flat coins. They actually try to move with purchasing power, linked to CPI, which is sort of an economics measure. That basically, if you can buy a McDonald's hamburger today with one of these coins, you should be able to buy a McDonald's hamburger 5 years from now with one of these coins. It tries to stay flat to purchasing power as opposed to one-to-one with the fiat coins, because of course, or fiat currencies, because those fiat currencies are actually growing in terms of a lot of them are seeing inflation, right? So there's a difference between a stable coin and a flat coin. Anyway, not to get too technical, but yeah, we should be making these available in all major currencies around the world, and Australian dollars is certainly no exception.
I heard from a lot of colleagues in the industry and a lot of peers down here up at Token 2049 in Singapore last week. The stablecoin conversation was front and center. So watch this space. Number 11, and we're packing a lot in today. Got a few more minutes left. Why launch during a bear market? Would it be better to wait until we're on the up again? Question mark.
So we're always launching. We're always shipping new stuff at Coinbase, and we certainly don't want to wait in a bear market. Absolutely. Kind of the opposite, actually. Like, we get a lot more done in bear markets. Frankly, the bull markets, when things are going up, sometimes it's like all hands on deck just to kind of keep everything scaling and running, because we're kind of a weird business in the sense that sometimes we'll 5x in a year, which is just incredibly stressful and an incredibly fast pace of growth in a bull market. And so literally everybody in the company is just trying to make sure customers can actually onboard, and the app and the site stays up, and there's an incredible amount of scaling that happens there. So in a bear market, we actually have time to build new stuff. And that's where a lot of the innovation happens. And so I actually like shipping more stuff in bear markets.
Yeah, I can attest to that as a new employee and team member. The cadence is fast, it's hot, super exciting. And, clearly the demand from partnerships, from brands, from all sorts of people in that retail world doesn't appear to me to have slowed down much during this point in time. Number 12, we mentioned this a little bit earlier. Do you plan to launch a Coinbase card for Australian users? And maybe just take a little bit of a deeper dive. I think we're going to do this, but maybe a deeper dive, Brian, into what is Coinbase Card? What does it do? Why is it different to other virtual cards out there?
Yeah, sure. So short answer, yes, we are planning to launch it in Australia. And Coinbase Card is a Visa debit card that allows you to spend crypto at any merchant that accepts Visa. And so that's important for a few reasons. I mean, we want to make it easier for the crypto economy to grow. And oftentimes in these kind of marketplaces, you have a chicken egg problem where, merchants don't want to accept this form of payment until there's a bunch of people who want to spend it. And the people don't want to spend it until there's a bunch of merchants who want to accept it. So this is kind of our way to grow one side of that two-sided marketplace, which is we've got all these people with crypto. Let's make it easy for them to spend it. And the merchant doesn't even really know they're accepting crypto. They're basically just accepting Visa. So it goes over the Visa rails. They get their local fiat currency. But over time, you can imagine a world where, okay, we can go to some of these brick and mortar stores or online stores and say, hey, 10, 20, 30% of your volume is now happening in crypto. Why don't you just accept crypto directly and you can save the 2% fee, right? So to me, it always seems a little silly that whenever people swipe their credit card around the world, they're paying 2% of that fee, doesn't go to the merchant. It's just moving bits of data over the internet, just like if you were to send a WhatsApp message or an iMessage. So there's no reason for that 2% fee, except it's kind of this historical oligopoly thing. So anyway, Coinbase Card is part of our way to make crypto more easy to spend, and then hopefully grow that two-sided marketplace long term.
Brian, awesome. One closing question. We'll whack it in there. I know we started a couple seconds late. What excites you the most about launching in Australia? Keep it quick.
Yeah, well, Coinbase is a global company, and we want to make it, and the crypto is a global, protocol and movement. And so we want to make it easier for crypto to be trusted and easy to use everywhere around the world. And hopefully we'll see more and more cross-border payments happening with every new country that we launch. So Australia is a very important milestone in that direction.
Hey, look, you've seen Brian on podcasts with Liv Fridman. Now you've seen him on a podcast with John O'Loughlin. Coinbase Australia. Thanks for all the questions, everyone. Thanks for your time, Brian. Look, we're super excited about Web3, particularly domestically in Australia. Everyone I talk to in Web3 in Australia is looking out at the global market. Clearly Australia's got a finite size and they're going to tap that market and then go global. So that's what we're delighted to be able to help people with, but also have a local launch. If we're going to be successful, it's about being local, and look forward to interacting with more of you and doing more of these in the future. Next time, my KPI, OKR, is to get Brian down here in the flesh and watch this space for what that could look like. Thanks, everyone. Brian, I'll let you close it.
Awesome. Thank you, John. I just want to say again, a big shout out to you and the team there in Australia. Congrats on the launch. And it's just day one. So now the real work begins. The real fun begins too. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Brian. Have a great one. Thanks, everybody.